All right. Welcome to the Town Council meeting, the Town of Southwest Ranches. If we can please call the roll.
Mayor Brightcruz.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jablonski.
Here.
Councilmember Albritton.
Present.
Councilmember Hartman.
Here.
Councilmember Kaczynski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. If we please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this point, I'm just going to turn it over to Councilmember Hartman for a statement.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. I want to take this opportunity to address my conduct during a town council meeting on May the 9th of 2024. During that meeting, I indicated that Stephen Garrotti was a convicted felon and violent criminal. Mr. Garrotti was never convicted of a felony or a violent crime, and I made a mistake in indicating otherwise. For that, I extend a sincere apology to Mr. Garrotti. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Bob. All right. We have a presentation this evening from George Morris, who I don't see. So we will put that item on hold for the moment and move on to public comment. Do we have any public comment this evening? All right. No public comment. We're moving right along. Board reports. Any board reports? Oh, I thought we were on a roll. No, I'm just teasing, just teasing. Thanks, Debbie.
All right. For the Zero Waste Advisory Board, Harold is not able to be here, but he asked me if I'd give a brief report. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we have the International Day of Zero Waste event that's planned for March 29th. It will be at the Southwest Meadows, Preserve. We're going to be in a section over by where the farmers market is. So we just want to welcome everyone to come out to that. We'll have a thing swap where you can swap gently used household items, arts and craft items, books, things like that. And then also you can bring some single-use plastic bags and swap for reusable bags as long as our supplies last. We'll also have Filthy Organics is going to be there, WM, some of our partners in trying to bring us, closer to zero waste. And also to let everyone know that April 18th, we have a tour set up for the town at the new WM recycling facility. So anyone that would like to tour, and the place is amazing, to please reach out to Town Hall and sign up for that tour.
Could you repeat the date on that, Debbie?
April 18th.
What time?
I don't remember the time.
Okay.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Awesome. Great.
Alrighty, and then this week with our flamingos they're coming to the end. I think they're gonna head home, and so there's a little bit more of that. It's been going tremendously, and of course we have our barn dance that's tomorrow evening. So alrighty, not
Excellent.
tomorrow, Saturday evening.
Saturday. Great. Thank you. Any other board reports this evening? Seeing none. Council member comments.
I'll
Who'd like
jump
to go
in.
first? Great. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, just start us off here real quick. Just bring a few items to note. Thank you, all three of you, for coming. We appreciate that. March 14th is Water Matters in the AM, and March 14th is the Barn Dance in the PM. And we also have Wings Over the Ranches in the AM, I believe. So we have a lot going on that Saturday coming up, this Saturday coming up. March 20th is Relay for Life at the Charter School on Sheridan and 172nd, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong. March 25th, the Flowmobile will be here. Do we still have openings? Yeah, by appointment on March 25th. March 28th, we have the Easter Bunny and the egg hunt at the Rolling Oaks Barn, open up for the whole town. Please show up. It's a free event, and everybody has a lot of fun with it, especially the children searching for eggs, grandkids, etc. March 31st, we have a workshop for the equestrian community on our horse trails throughout our town, which I'm sure the mayor is going to speak about. March 29th is International Zero Waste Day, and that's being held at The Preserve? Or here?
Preserve.
Preserve, thank you. Okay. April 2nd, we have a wildlife seminar here at Town Hall from 6 to 8. I'm sure the mayor's going to talk about that. April 11th is Hazmat at the Barn, and everybody can bring their all their really hard to throw away kind of stuff so you don't contaminate the landfill, tires, things of that nature. March 25th is our big fundraiser, the 5K, which is held in Rolling Oaks. If you haven't registered for it, register for it soon. It's a great event, and it really helps out with our scholarship money. May 10th is Mother's Day. Let's not forget that. May 25th is Memorial Day. Let's certainly not forget that, and I'm sure Jim's going to talk about that with his group. And the end of May is the scholarships deadline. Is that correct? Okay. Wow, man, I'm 5 for 5. Guess I did my homework. And most of all, I want to congratulate Russell. He is the new chili queen. Oh, excuse me, king. For winning the chili contest. So, I would like to mention that throughout the last year and a half, since I had retired from the chili process like several years ago, Russell kept asking me little tips here and there, never realizing I was giving away the secret formula.
Yeah.
You know, so it finally ended up. Then it dawned on me, and when Rick Bell asked me sincerely to come in and rejoin, I knew I had real competition on my hands
There
at
you
that
go.
point.
What, 38 unique ingredients, and Russell, what do you have, 4?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, congratulations, Russell. As you can see, he has this really nice trophy. Mine has my name on it, saying, "Hey, you arrived again." His just says for a place. That's all. So, but anyway, I'll let that go. So, but anyway, congratulations to Russell on that. And we had a really good time at the Cars and Chili in the Park Festival with a lot of people, and it was very enjoyable. And I'll wrap it up with that, Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Gary.
I'll be real quick.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
Couple things. First off, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. And let's see, big audience for those of you in YouTube land. There's 3 people here, so you're always welcome to join us. So this coming Saturday, as Gary made a reference to, we have our next Wings Over the Ranches birding tour. This time it's out at Country Estates. And it's started. The birdies are starting to head north now. This morning, actually over the last week, I've seen about a dozen swallowtail kites. They ought to be the state bird of Florida. They're about yay big. They are white with black trailing edges. They have a fork-shaped tail, and they are one of the most graceful flyers we have in Florida. They're just coming back. They spend their summers here. Takes them a month and a half to get here. On the way back to South America, they winter in the Amazon. They take a hurricane back, tropical storm back. They can get to South America in 4 or 5 days, and it takes them a month and a half to get here. But anyway, they're starting to fill the skies. A lot of the spring migration has already started. I'm home every day, so I'm seeing tons of birds coming through that weren't here last week. So it's a good time to get out and check out the birdies. I did want to give a Griffin Road update. I've been on the MPO for 6 years now, and I think as soon as I got on the MPO, I started trying to address getting Griffin Road widened west of Bonaventure Boulevard. And the MPO isn't really too much in the business of road widening anymore. They're really focused on new bus projects, interoperability, mass transit, e-vehicles, e-bicycles, everything but paving roads and widening roads. So I think we're still on the 2045 list for widening Griffin Road. And I'm not sure if we'll ever get there based on feedback we got from the county traffic engineering department. We had a meeting with Richard Tornese, who's responsible for that type of work for Broward County back in, November, because they were talking about widening Sheridan Street between I-75 and Flamingo Road. And I talked to Richard that night, and he said, give me a call. We'll work it out. If the MPO's not going to pay for it, maybe we can do it in stages. So I got in touch, and Russell got in touch as well. You know, me through my channels and Russell through official channels. And there were really two things that needed to be done. The residents out that way, and I've seen it particularly when it's raining out, you can't see the striping in the road at all. It's been years since they striped out there, and at night it's difficult to see the stripes, and you'll see people driving in the middle of the road because they can't see the striping. So we asked them to look at both. What can we do to improve flow on Griffin? And you know, we also need something remedial. I don't care if they widen it. Next year, we need to fix and repaint the lines. So they are working on the lines and that aspect of it right now. That's the good news. The bad news is they did a traffic study, and we were concerned they were going to do a traffic study in like the middle of July when there's nobody. You know, the school's out, and you know, people are away on vacation, yada yada. Because they've done that kind of in the past, not them, but others have. We got feedback from them yesterday or this week that the road is not at capacity. There's really no reason to widen the road. Russell, I'd like to take that back to them, because back about, it's probably 8 or 9 years ago now, they did some widening work where some of the streets did not have a left-hand turn lane. They were just stopping traffic on Griffin Road. And there's still a couple of streets that don't have left-hand turn lanes, like 198th Terrace. There's a couple of them that don't. And what I notice is, you know, the Segadora Church has become a real attraction out there on the weekends and on weeknights. And there's a problem with people making the left-hand turn. And they block, I mean, last Sunday morning, 2 weeks ago, Sunday morning, I was waiting to turn left, and there were a whole bunch of cars coming from the west. And, you know, I probably waited 4 or 5 minutes. More? Yeah. No, I'm sorry, it was later in the day. I was going out. And in any case, they were the person who was trying to make a left onto my street had 10 or 15 cars backed up behind them because they couldn't make the left-hand turn. So maybe that's another improvement we can suggest to them, to take a look at the roads. 190th is, you know, Griffin 345. There's hundreds of houses in there now. That's not a little development. And I see people stopping 3, 4, 5, 10 cars sometimes to make the left-hand turn into 190th, particularly when there's heavy traffic, you know, during rush hour, or when the church is getting out, or when school is getting out in the afternoons as well. So I don't want to give up on it. I've given up on it with the MPO because they're just, their eyes are on much different types of projects. One thing I did want to bring up today that may have impact on us, something that's changed. Pembroke Pines wanted to know about the surtax money, whether they can float a bond against revenue on that. And I guess the MPO attorney came back and said, there's nothing in the legislation that says yes, and there's nothing in the legislation that says no. So Pembroke Pines, being they're generally pretty aggressive with these types of things, are doing that. So I don't know whether we want to try to come up with and maybe budget what our next 10 years would look like to try to complete Southwest Ranches and see if we can go after the money like they're doing for their projects. And we float a bond at a relatively low rate and take it from that direction, rather than kind of piecemealing it with $500,000 or $750,000 a year. So that came up at today's MPO meeting. Tom Good was all over it. So I don't know if you want to call over there, but they're executing on that right now, or will be, I should say. So that said, that was interesting. Not a lot comes out of the MPO that can impact us, but that was something that was really good. So the Griffin Road updates, that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I'm gonna keep it really short. Sunshine Ranch, David Kaczynski, District 4. Thank everybody for coming out. And George, you're on time. Good job.
You missed this spot.
You missed your spot.
There's another one in 2 weeks.
All right, folks, just a little update on what's going on in Sunshine Ranches. We're still making headway on having speed tables installed to alleviate some of the speeding problems. Still speeding problems. I'm still getting reports from neighbors. Running stop signs. I know speed tables are not going to affect that, and there's nothing really we can do except hopefully law enforcement is there at the exact time. And I've seen Davie Police in Sunshine Ranches, so I want to give a hats off. Thank you, Eddie. And that does it for me.
Thank you, David. Jim?
Don't think I can be that short, but it'll be doggone close. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to all the residents, to each and every one that showed up for the Relay for Life at Wings and Things. What a great event that was. A support for Kathy Sullivan's team for Relay for Life to raise the money. I believe she's very close to being in first place as a team for Relay to Life. I want to send out a special thank you to John, the owner of Wings and Things, for his generosity to help. He brought in his entire staff. We filled the place up. Just a great evening. I hear that the food was raved about, not only the wings, but everything else. The shepherd's pie and the hamburgers and everything else was delicious. So if you go, they support our town tremendously. They give to the school scholarship fund every year through the barn. They give out gift certificates to be auctioned off. So it's a great organization. They really support us, even though they're not in our town, but they're a great supporter of us. I'd also like to send a special thank you to Rose for organizing it. She went in and met with the past owner and the owner, the current owner, sat down, and probably about a 2-hour conversation took place. Meanwhile, I was over eating my wings, having a good time, and the event took place, so it was really nice. And as Gary mentioned, the 20th of March coming up is the walk, Relay for Life. It'll be at the school there on Sheridan and 172nd where you vote. Come, join the team, walk a lap. You don't have to stay all night. It'll be from probably 5:30 till midnight. So come. There'll be a bunch of booths set up all over, and each booth will have its own unique identity. So we're working real good with that to get it set up, Relay for Kathy. And then lastly, first scheduled meeting of the vets will take place on Memorial Day. Thank you to the town for allowing that to happen. I am honestly thrilled to death that it's going to take place. We also have someone that donated $1,000 of an organization donated $1,000 to pay for breakfast. We were going to have just some light refreshments and coffee, but we may be able to serve a couple bagels and so forth. But if you know of a vet, if you are a vet, and they haven't reached out to me or December here at Town Hall, please have them do so. We have 240 vets in town. We have about 70 or 80 names on our list, so we're still well short of what we could get. But remind everybody that Memorial Day this year will be the first here for the vets in town. And I just love to see everybody show up. With that, Mayor, that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. All right. I think we'll take a break here and let George, we'll make special accommodation for George because he's on a different schedule than the rest of us here in Southwest Ranches.
My apologies, Mayor. You guys were faster than I thought. I was waiting for the Boy
What did you
Scouts.
say? You weren't at the mic at the moment? What would you just say?
I was figuring the Boy Scouts, some
No,
senator.
the apology part. No,
you know,
just teasing, George.
you guys,
Go ahead.
You guys got me. Russell, did you receive the email? Okay.
What email?
Okay, as I had brought up this harebrained idea of mine in the past, and it emanated in the Astor Knight Foundation and spilled over into the Arts Board, Parks Board, which one is it? Arts Board. I came up with an idea to create a horseshoe monument to honor the people that have served in the town and volunteered and etc. Sort of like a wall of honor, something permanent in the town. It can be anybody. I'm not going to be the person that's going to choose the people that go up on the wall. That's going to be up to a separate committee that I want to put together. I've got some architectural renderings, some rough draft drawings of what the monument would look like. There it is, it's just not set in stone or anything like that. But that's sort of the idea of what I was thinking about. Again, it's going to be placed in one of the parks. It's not up to me to choose the park. And this monument is approximately 13 feet tall from the base. Overall height is about 16 feet, and the width is about 14.8. So it's a beautiful, large horseshoe, something that can be seen from a far distance. And basically, it's going to have plaques that are going to be on it. On one front side, it's going to have 159 plaques, and then on let's say the left side and the right side is going to have about 62 plaques. And you can see sort of like the people that are standing there to give a reference with regards to the size that it is going to be. The material that it's going to be made of is going to be concrete structure covered in some sort of granite. And on the granite, it's going to have different names of people, right? And again, a committee would choose the names of the people. Let's see. And the names of the people would just, it would be the size of the plaques that I kind of estimated would be the size of like an Apple keyboard, something of that nature. And of course, it can be changed or modified or whatever. So when I'm imagining that when the horseshoe is done, it would be built out of concrete. It would be covered in granite from top to bottom, left, right, and center. And it would have these squares. And over time, the squares can be taken off. Someone's name can be put on and can be added. Maybe you want to take, change it up, whatever it is. Then when there are names that are up there, and then someone's going to say, well, who is that person? For example, Bob Dunn. Who's Bob Dunn? I think most of you up here know who Bob Dunn is. People in the audience know, but people out there in TV land might not know who's, Bob Dunn. Who was very instrumental in our town getting it together and, working, from the start or whatever. And he did some donations. And, my belt's falling off here. I lost some weight and it's just falling off, so excuse me. We're losing track of, our history is already 25 years in the making, right? We're all here from the beginning, and, who thought 25 years down the road we'd even be sitting here? But we are, obviously. And as time goes on, people forget about names, and I would like to honor the people that really did serve the town. They're instrumental in developing the town, whether it's volunteering or serving on a council or whatever, boards, committees, etc. This would be a permanent monument that can be in any one of the parks. And I'm in the process right now of raising money. This is not going to be funded by the city. It's not going to cost taxpayers anything. I have a goal of $100,000 to raise. I've gotten promises of up to $15,000 thus far, and I haven't even tried. I've got other people out there that can commit as well. We've moved to the first stage, which is coming up with a design, presenting it to the arts board, them approving it and choosing a location or whatever, and kind of moving it on. I just wanted to bring it to you all to maybe to discuss in public to see if that's a good idea or something that we want to do, what park you want to put it in, if you have any questions for me. Also, once this monument is built, so you're going to have a name up there. We can just call it, Joe Smith, whatever. Doesn't matter the name. So everybody might know who Joe Smith is today, but in 25 years, 30 years, we're still going to be here, right? Who is Joe Smith? Nobody knows. Everybody's passed, And my idea is to have something like this monument here in front of the monument. If you go back to the artwork, there was another one that I sent you, Russell. It's the second email. Okay. It's going to be like a pedestal that's going to be in front of that monument, sort of like the same size as this here. And then on top of that pedestal, I want to put a brass plaque with a QR code so that when somebody walks up to this monument, what the heck is this? Who the heck is that? It's pretty common sense now at this point where people can take their phones and everybody's carrying a personal device on them and scan this QR code. This QR code will take you to a website. The website's going to be owned and operated and managed by the town of Southwest Ranches. And again, with the money that I raise, it can be cost recovery. And it will bring you to a website, and then it'll have the list of names in alphabetical order. So when you're looking up John Smith, you can go to John Smith, and that'll be a link. So you touch John Smith, and it'll take you to a link. It could be photos, it could be a documentary, it could be a video of the actual person who did whatever to deserve to be up there. and the person can talk. It can be a 2-minute video, 1-minute video, or pictures of what this person did, where he's been, where he lived, a little history about that person and how he helped out the town or whatever it is. And people can, you know, see themselves up there, or their grandkids can see their grandfather up there, or, you know, in 50 years from now, who the heck was I? Who the heck were you? You know, who the heck was anybody? So it's just a way of honoring the people that really put themselves into this community and volunteered and did whatever, you know, whether it's, you know, someone being a president of a board or raising money, or, you know, the people that founded the school education fund. I mean, how many people did that help? Or Astor Knight, you know, he did a lot for this community. Anybody. Again, it's not up to me to pick the names of the people. It's just for me to come up with an idea and a monument and something that could last for a long time. So roughly, if we have a 460 plaques, if we put up 60 people to start off with, I'm just throwing it out there, and we chose 20 people per year, so we could have a committee to choose 20 people per year. It's sort of like the Hall of Fame, right? You elect people, and then we can have the committee to choose those people to be put up there. If we did 20 names per year, it could last 20 years before it got full. Again, I keep saying it's not up to me, but we'll figure that out as we go. But if you look up there on the board, the top illustration is basically a drawing from looking straight down at the Horseshoe Monument. And in front of it's a little square that's kind of this, looks like this stand here. And that's where the actual QR code on the brass plaque would be mounted, and people can walk up to it. So it's a monument in a park. And again, on the bottom portion of it is the front and the left view of it. And I'm not sure if I made myself clear, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know I talk fast, and I'm passionate about what I do, and how can I answer questions?
Yeah, thank you, George. I think this is a great way to honor those that not only founded the town, but that we're going to be continuing after we've moved on to other stuff. So I think it's an awesome idea. I appreciate all the work and effort that you've put into it, and that's still to come. So any comments from the council?
Yeah, just a question or two. And George, I love this idea. This is phenomenal. I love your creativity and how you come up with these things. I heard something new tonight other than what you've said over at the Arts Board. You were talking about the 6x12 spots that you're going to put the names. You're saying, are you expecting those will all be pre-placed, and then you take something down and replace it with something, or do you take down the granite piece? And
they would be, in my opinion, pre-placed. So it would be a Horseshoe Monument with these plaques, roughly 6x12, that would be up there, and there would be 400 of them all over the place. Boom.
Brass plaques?
It would be made of granite. The whole horseshoe would be wrapped in granite.
Right.
And it would be not a solid piece of granite, but by tiles. So the tiles would fit on the horseshoe in different areas. Again, the picture does show that. If you zoom in a little bit.
But the question is, do you see them being replaced by a brass plaque?
No. I see the granite. It's going to be covered in. I know where you're going.
Etch the person's name? Okay,
yes.
Got it.
So it'll be granite.
Right.
And covered in granite, and it would be just blank.
Right.
And we would go and take 20 of these plaques off because it would be removable. We would put the name, sandblast them or whatever, engrave the actual stones. We would put them back up there.
That answers
and another idea of mine was, I don't want to start from the top to the bottom. Your name's up there. Why is my name on the bottom? What I was also thinking a little deeper is if we're going to have 464 plaques, we would pre-number them, on a map, let's say. And when we decide to put someone's name there, we can spin something or choose a number out of a hat, and it would be so your name would be randomly placed up there, whether you're the front, the back, the top, I don't know. But it's of no significance order. It doesn't mean anything, the height or anything like that. It's just something to honor the people that volunteer in this town. There's a lot of people that give of themselves on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, etc. And they don't want anything. No, I don't want anything. Nobody wants anything. But it's nice to be recognized, and it just gives that little bit of incentive. And I know this town's small enough to appreciate the people, and it's something that we can do. And again, I want to emphasize that this project will not be at taxpayers' expense. It is 100% privately funded from the start to the finish. The only thing that we would be asking of the town is to donate a piece of land at a park somewhere to put it, and it's a piece of artwork.
The next piece, and this is really for Russell. I like the idea of the website on the QR code, being able to go out and look up Joe Blow, Joe Smith, Jack Blow, whatever. And how would we come up with the write-ups on those? And that's the question for Russell, because his staff is pretty lean and mean.
Yeah.
We're going to collect stuff. We need to edit it.
It could be the family. It could be the person. It could be anybody. It could just be a photo. Doesn't, I mean, how extends, could be, okay, Joe, this is your plaque. There's a family members want to put pictures of Joe and, at different events, at the horseshoe, at the horse show, at the car show. I don't know. It's to be determined at whatever time. And it could be as simple as a picture.
I love the idea.
And a little narrative. This person served on the town council, blah, 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 blah.
Sometimes these things take work, and see by our historical society, sometimes they fall
maybe the
apart
arts
too.
board could write it up. Again, I want to raise enough money where there's going to be a kitty. The money's going to be, I guess, an interest-bearing account, and it could be a cost recovery thing. So when we do this, there is an expense to the town to input it in whatever. Maybe it's 20 hours. I don't know, $100 an hour, so it's $2,000. So, there should be enough money in there on a yearly basis and raising money, et cetera, to fund this thing.
Good.
And that's what the Astor Knight Foundation is for. We're out there raising money for the parks, et cetera, and doing things like this that benefit the community. And this is just one of those things. So I don't think the fund will ever go broke, and it should last a long time. But it's at no expense to the town. No, I agree with you. There is an expense of uploading, maintaining, servicing the server, the website, whatever. But I think we can raise that money and keep it going.
I'm not going to speak on behalf of Russell, but as far as the website and all that, once that's set up, that's on autopilot. It's just the editing of any new content that goes up there would be.
It should be relatively easy. I'm not talking about a complicated website. Basically, a
right,
link, boom, it pulls you up there, and there's names, and you click on that person's name, and it's just to honor that person that did whatever.
They're very good at an uncomplicated website
and it's
here.
something there that's permanent. I know we have other things around the town, maybe a brick here or whatever. We have the flagpole outside, but I'm looking more something artistic and something monumental and of significant size and stature to honor the people that really have done a lot for this town.
Thank you, and thanks for the time you put into
If anybody else has any questions?
Any other comments, questions? Great. Thank you,
Great,
George.
great idea.
Okay. Sorry I was late. You guys were fast. Thank you.
All right. That's a great idea. All right, I wanted to give a couple of updates here. First one is, as Gary had mentioned, on April 2nd, we are going to be having a meeting here at the town council, or the town hall, related to the South Florida Wildlife Center. They should have their new executive director at that point, and so we'll get to meet her and really begin the process. Really, the purpose here is to begin the process of our residents becoming more familiar with this organization, who they are, what they do, and for them to become more familiar with who we are as a town. Start building that bond between the two of us as they move forward with developing their facility out here, moving from the east side of Broward County out to the ranches. So that's on April 2nd from 6 to 8 o'clock right here at Town Hall. Second thing I wanted to touch on was last night I had the opportunity, the honor to go up to Tamarack and speak to the town commission, or the city commission up there in Tamarack. Had a good conversation with them. It was a late night, but we did get to the item, and they gave as much time as I needed, which I spoke for about 30 minutes. Well, we went back and forth. Most of it was presentation, but they had some questions and conversation also. So it was a good opportunity to share with them where we are with the master plan, where we are with the facilities agreement, and they had some good questions, things that we were able to clarify there. And so it was time well spent, and I'm hopeful that that will pay off in the long run. As far as the SWA is concerned, a week from tomorrow, we'll be finalizing the facilities agreement, and what that means is that then the master plan and the facilities agreement will be complete. The master plan will be adopted by the governing board, hopefully, a week from tomorrow. and then the facilities agreement will be finalized as far as the governing board is concerned, but then that's the document that needs to go out to all the municipalities, the 28 municipalities and the county, to have them approve it and adopt it. So that that's why we're going around to these all the municipalities and educating them so that they have an informed look at what's in the master plan, what's in the facilities agreement, what they're committing to, what the plan is that they're buying, and then the facilities agreement gives them an idea of what it's going to cost them. And so, so we'll be finalizing that a week from tomorrow, and then the real push comes on to get this distributed out to the 28 municipalities and the county to get them get their approval done. And once we get 80% of the population of that group to sign on, then it becomes official, and we move forward from there. So it's exciting to see it continue to progress. One of the things that they've done that we can all participate in, if we can put that, the pledge up there with the code up there. So what this is we've set this up to be able to basically take the pledge, and the idea is that residents throughout Broward County can do that URL code and sign up and pledge to support moving forward with the master plan. And we want to build up the number of pledgees on this so that it becomes impressive and so that it speaks for itself when we go out to the different municipalities and go to the county. And we're looking to really get a large group of folks on there. So if you are able to, please sign up that and take the pledge and sign up for the pledge. And I would appreciate that. I think it's going to really help us out. We need to really kind of publish this out there over the next couple of months so that we get a good group of ranchers out there. We've led the way in so many ways. This is one more way. I think we can really participate and move forward. Then the last thing I wanted to touch on is we have a meeting, a workshop that I'm really excited about coming up on the 31st of March. And it has to do with the coming up with the discussion on the equestrian trails and equestrian multi-use trails here in the ranches. We have kind of we have a trail plan, but it's not a contiguous plan. A lot of the trails are going from nowhere to nowhere. It's just a little stretch you could ride on. And so the idea here is that we really need to develop a plan that is going to service our town so that the equestrian riders have a way to make that ride be enjoyable and to be safe. So to make it safe. So what we're looking at is we're gonna have some boards up here where residents can come out and see where the current trails are and where they aren't. And so we can discuss how maybe we can connect these trails and make them more beneficial. We'll talk about that for a while, and then we'll talk about safety, the trail safety. We've got to make these trails safe, otherwise people aren't going to use them regardless. So that's just one is just as critical as the other. And then if we're able to, we'll talk a little bit about visioning and in the future and where we want to go from there. But this will probably be the first of a number of workshops. We're not going to have this be a one and done and we've got everything we need. It's just not going to, it's too big a deal for that. But I equate this almost to like what we did with the drainage plan here in the town, in that we really need to see the full plan of how this is all going to come together. And once we have that, then we can start looking for funding to be able to build out the plan and to be able to really create something special here in the ranches and really create an identity even more than we have today, that we're an equestrian community. And so I'm really looking forward to that meeting. Please, if you're equestrian minded, please come out. If you know folks that are, please let them know about it or have them contact me. I'd love to hear from them. And I'm looking to get a good group out there so we can really get a good broad base of information and scope on what we're trying to accomplish on the equestrian trails. That is March 31st, right here at Town Hall at 7 o'clock. All right, and with that, I will pass it on for any legal comments we have. Thank you, Keith. Russell, any administrative comments?
Yes, Mayor. Yes, Mayor, I have a few. Just give me 1 second, please. Just want to provide a couple of updates. At the last Public Safety and Traffic Committee meeting, we did have a few attendees that wished to be appointed to the board. They expressed some interest, and we discussed that night that Cherie Reynolds, Alexis Dager, and Ben Hodgers wanted to serve. And at this point, if the council so wishes, we would need to make a formal appointment of those people to that board.
Mayor, I'd like to move that that takes place, if you would.
Second.
Any discussion on that item? Any public discussion? Seeing that, please call the roll.
Councilmember Albritton?
Yes?
Councilmember Hartman?
Yes.
Councilmember Kozinski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski?
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mayor. I would also like to provide a quick update on the FDOT response to our request for assistance with some improvements to the interchange at I-75 and Griffin Road. We did receive an email from Mariano Amacharelli, who's a PE with FDOT, on March 3rd, noting that in reviewing the crash data, they identified a notable shift in crash patterns and that they would investigate further. We analyzed traffic crash data that we pulled from the records, and we identified just in since 2023, 43 significant accidents at that location. We provided that information today to them, and they're going to use that to help hopefully bolster the need for improvements to that intersection.
Great. Awesome.
I also wanted to advise the town council that we are moving forward with our strategic planning process, and it's going to begin with a vision and goal setting session on Saturday, April 4th, that we will have at the Rolling Oaks Barn in the morning from 9 to 1 p.m. Sorry to make you guys get up early on a Saturday, but 9 to 1 p.m. on Saturday, April 4th. Our strategic planning consultant will be contacting each of you. They have your contact information, so they will be reaching out to you next week just to gain some insight from you in preparation for that workshop. And the last thing that I just wanted to mention was that, yes, I did enjoy the competition at the chili cook-off that Saturday. I did have a very good mentor in Vice Mayor Jablonski, so I appreciate the competition. And he warned me that should you win, and the problem is you have to defend the title the next year. So I was hoping to retire, but I guess I'll be there next year. So that's all I have here. Thank you.
I do have a question for Russell. You meant
What's the recipe?
No, I already know what that is. I gave it to him a long time ago. I just got to remember which one I gave him. The April 4th meeting, what time was that?
April 4th at Rolling Oaks Barn from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
In the morning?
Yeah, that would be a.m.
It's awfully early for us retired guys.
Yeah, we also had, at one of the other meetings, the Parks Board, we had a individual that wanted to join. Was her name part of that, what we just went through? Or
Is
no?
that Cherie Reynolds as well?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, we
that.
did receive a application. Deborah, do you recall the application that we received for? I don't recall. It slips my mind.
I believe Cherie's already was accepted
Yeah,
on the board. I believe she's already been accepted on the board.
yeah, she was. It
Right.
was one other person,
It was somebody.
one other lady, as I recall.
I can look
We
it up.
can bring that back at the next
Okay.
meeting, maybe. I don't think we have another parks meeting before then, so I don't recall.
I actually didn't have the paperwork filled out, I think, at that point.
Yeah, Deborah's gonna check, but,
Okay. All right, just for the record.
okay, thank you.
Anything else?
For parks? Because he's on public and safety, I already mentioned him.
Oh, was it Maylin?
Yeah, that's who.
Maylin?
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
That's who.
So maybe we need a
Thank you.
motion for,
Yeah, I want to make a motion to put her on the board,
Okay.
Parks Board.
You have a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Any public discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Hartman?
Yes.
Councilmember Kozinski?
Yes.
Councilmember Albritton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski?
Yes,
Mayor Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great.
thank you
Very good.
very much.
Anything else? Okay. We're good. All right. Item number 9, please.
Item 9 is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, accepting and approving an agreement with Broward County to receive $587,890.00 for design and construction of turn lanes on Dykes Road, authorizing the mayor, town administrator, and town attorney to enter into an agreement approving a budget amendment to the fiscal year 2025-2026 adopted budget and providing for an effective date.
Motion approved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on this item. Is there any discussion on this item?
Yeah, just one quick one. Russell, I neglected to ask you this earlier in the week. Where are we getting the money from on this? It just says Broward County?
This is the MAP proceeds from the
Got it.
surtax funding.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
I will say that I was in the Circle S HOA meeting this past week, and we did discuss this a little bit, and they're very appreciative of what the council is doing for them and how we've partnered with them to help resolve some very real issues that they're experiencing over there. They had a list of damage that's happened to their HOA public property based on all of the traffic and U-turns that are going through their property. So this is an important thing, plus the safety going up and down Dykes Road for those left-hand turns. This is important for our town, so I'm pleased that we've been able to pull this together so quickly and move forward with it, this item and the next one. Any public discussion on this item? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kaczynski?
Yes.
Councilmember Albritton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hartman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski?
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Item number 10, please.
Item 10 is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, approving a purchase order to Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, totaling $68,215.00 for the design of the grant-funded turn lanes on Dykes Road, authorizing the mayor, town administrator, and town attorney to execute the purchase order and providing for an effective date.
Motion approved.
Second. Third.
Have a motion and a second on this item. Any council discussion on this item?
No, but I'd like to briefly say the more left-hand, right-hand turn lanes that we put in prevents a 4-lane
Great
project.
point. That's a great point.
You know,
Yep.
the more we can accommodate the
Yeah.
stop traffic, it prevents that, the
Yeah.
county from going that
Help
extreme.
preserve the 2-lane road.
Correct.
Right. Absolutely. Great point. Any other council discussion? Any public discussion on this item? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Albritton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hartman?
Yes.
Councilmember Kaczynski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski?
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Excellent. Item number 11, please.
Item 11 is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, rescinding resolution number 2024-034, approving the owner's request to obtain water and sewer service for 14251 Mustang Trail from the City of Sunrise, consenting to the City of Pembroke Pines to provide water and sewer service to 14251 Mustang Trail, real property lying within the Town of Southwest Ranches, providing that no further expansion of the service shall occur without the town's written consent, providing for a certified copy to be furnished to the City of Pembroke Pines, and providing for an effective
Motion
date.
approved.
Second.
Motion and a second on this item. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah.
This does not interfere with our MAP plan, from what I understand. Pines can bring water in to that particular area without crossing any other lines. They were asking for Sunrise, and I guess Sunrise couldn't apply the thing. So the residents that live next to this will be using Pines water, I assume, right?
That's
Whoever
correct.
sets that precedent in that particular area will kind of designate where the water goes.
Right, and actually I was gonna speak on that as well. It's a great point. So basically what's happening here is we're developing this plan within our town to designate specific areas that if a resident wishes to connect to municipal water and or sewer, we have a plan on, if you live in this part of town, this is where you should connect. If you live in that part of town, this is where you should connect. This particular property was in a location that indicated that it should, in fact, connect to Sunrise. But after we went through this process and realized that Pembroke Pines was a much better alternative here, we would be approving this. In the backup, you'll see this, what I'm describing. You'll see the map there. And what we will do, once this is approved by the council, assuming it's approved, is the map will then be adjusted so that this property, and if like their neighbor were to then ask to do this, they would then be in the Pines zone as opposed to the Sunrise zone. And so the goal here is to make sure that we don't have any overlap in our service areas. So thanks, Jim. All right. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, if we can please call the roll.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Kaczynski,
Yes.
Councilmember Albritton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski.
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Item number 12, please.
Item 12 is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, providing for an amended and comprehensive fee schedule for building permit fees, engineering fees, fire fees, planning fees, and zoning fees associated with permitting and inspections, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on this item. Is there any discussion on this item?
Yes.
Thank you.
So the initial genesis of this was one particular fee, and it's escaping my memory right now, Russell. Which fee was
It was
it?
for the event permits and the notification
Yes.
requirements for the event permits.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And when I started reading through this as part of my weekly reading, I noticed we're upping a whole bunch of fees. And in my mind, I prefer that we do this on an annual basis if necessary and kind of tie it with our fiscal year rather than kind of do it mid-year, which is kind of where we are right now or close to it. So I would recommend that we pass the one that backs up the change we made last month and defer the rest of these, because these are tax increases one way or the other for our residents, right in the middle of all kinds of other problems we're having right now. And I realize we've got a building boom going on in Southwest Ranches. On my ride last week, I was fascinated by the number of houses under construction right now. But the next guy coming through the door has got new fees. So I'd rather time this. I don't mind doing it. I'm just all about the timing. And if we do it on an annual basis, that gives our vendors an opportunity to propose something, us to spend some time reviewing it, thinking it through. Last time we did this, we had a lot of discussion on it. This time, it's kind of just, it's happening. I'm not too comfortable with that.
Thank you, Bob. Any other council comments on this?
Bob, this wouldn't affect anything that's currently in place.
Oh,
You
I
know that,
understand
right?
that.
I mean, so this would be the new people coming in. I don't know
It'll
how.
be any new permits that are
Right.
filed, not new people.
No, right, new permits and stuff being
Right.
filed, right. So that really wouldn't affect anything that's currently going on. That would just, like you said, that'd be the new, and that might slow them down a little bit. I don't know.
I'd like to time this as part of our budget process. If you name it, CAP wants to do an increase, let them come to us during the budgeting process, propose it. We look at it, we understand it, we ask them questions. If we're comfortable with it, it goes through with our new budget when we start a new fiscal year. Doing this in the middle of the year, I'm not too comfortable with that. I'd rather do it on it. And if they do it every year, I'm okay with that as long as they can justify their annual increases. But I don't want to do it in the middle of the year.
I have a question.
yeah.
Russell, if I may. Russell, when was the last time we updated these fees?
The last time we updated the fees, I want to say was 2021, is when the last time we went through it, and we went through all the different disciplines, including engineering.
So about 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And if I may say, and again, I'm just providing context, I'm not trying to sway a decision here, but so the impetus, Councilmember Hartman, you're correct. The impetus was the event notification fee was the impetus behind this. But staff, when we looked at this, we saw this as an opportunity to ask all of the different partners that perform the permitting service to see if there were any fees that were not only way out of scale, but also things that may no longer be required. So just want to be, 100% transparent. There are some fees that we're actually recommending be removed from here. Our building official did do a review of neighboring municipalities, and that review found that we were vastly lower than many other municipalities. This was an attempt in some of these areas to bring those fees up. And if you look at the sheer number of fees that can be charged, certainly we're not proposing to increase all of these fees by, let's say, 10% or anything like that. This was bringing certain fees within the fee schedule up to what is comparable to other neighboring municipalities.
Is that the right approach? I mean, just because Weston charges more or Weston Pines and our neighbors charge more, I'd rather keep ours lower if possible.
That's
it's
a
not
fair,
about keeping up with the Joneses on this.
That's a fair point, but let me just say, it doesn't also reflect, the current fees don't currently reflect the effort that's involved with some of these fees, is the point.
Russell, I'm not saying we shouldn't do some of these. When I look at something like $500 for a residential temporary CO, I wonder where that comes from, and this, $1,000 on a commercial. But I'm not against some of these. I'm just saying, I think the timing should be in line with the rest of our financial processing versus kind of out of the blue in the middle of the year.
That's fine. Just one, if I may say one other thing in response to that, we also were sensitive to the fact that we didn't want to make it seem like we would be bringing a change to the fee schedule now and then be proposing something else during the course of the year, so that it looks like we're continually upping our fees, and we just wanted to do this in one fell swoop.
Well, to present the other side of that argument, we were talking about one, and it was based on an action that the council took. This is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I also have concerns about this, and what I'm seeing is a much higher percentage increase for residential permits than I am for non-residential. Now, I know we don't have a lot of non-residential construction going on in town, but historically, I think we've always looked for the non-residential to really help subsidize. I don't know if that's the right word, but it probably is an accurate word. Some of the residential side, and so when I look at these increases, I'm just going to go through a few of them here. For the electrical inspection fee for residential goes from $75 to $125. The temporary electric service for today for residential is $100. For non-residential is $125. The non-residential stays the same, but the residential goes up to $125. You mentioned the temporary COs. I see some logic to that. I actually don't have an issue with that one, just because we don't want to be doing a bunch of temporary COs. The certificate of completion for residential going up from $75 to $400. Non-residential is from 100 to 600, so it's also going up. The residential change of contractor is from 75 to 150, double. The non-residential is going from 100 to 150. It's not double. And it goes on. There's residential of the reinspection from 100 to 150. That one actually for non-residential is going down from 200 to 150 for non-residential. It just doesn't smack right to me, to be honest with you. I want to, if this is accurate, I'm not saying it's not accurate. I'm just saying my impression is not good when I read this. I think that if we're being asked to make the change in these fees, then we should see the justification for the new fees, and I haven't seen that. I'm going based on the word of CAP that they've done the work, and this is what makes sense. I don't have anything to be able to challenge that other than a gut feel, and I'm not comfortable with that. So my inclination would be to strike the motion that we have, recall the motion, and if somebody wanted to put a motion on there to just increase the one that we were originally looking at, and then to go back and ask CAP to provide the feedback or the backup to these other changes so that we have the ability to look at it and make our own judgment on what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. That's what I'd like to see happen, but we have a separate motion on the table right now, so we can either vote on that.
I'll rescind my second.
I'll rescind the first.
Okay, so if there's,
So I'll make a motion then to pass the modification that just concerns the notification based on the changes we made over the last
Second.
2 meetings.
okay.
Does that include reviewing or having CAP
Yeah.
come back to us?
Well,
It did- I
that's
mean-
separate. I'm just saying,
You can add that to the motion.
okay, so yeah, we'll add that to the motion
Okay.
as well.
I'll amend
Right.
So having CAP come out to present their justification on,
Yeah,
The
yeah,
modifications
I
are
like that,
requested.
right. Otherwise, we'd sit here and never hear from them.
Right.
they'll be, I'm sure they're good partners.
Yeah, they're great partners.
Mayor,
Yes.
if this is the direction the council is going, I would ask for a modification or an amendment to the resolution to just simply say that it's a resolution of the town, et cetera, amending the comprehensive fee schedule as it relates to event permits. You know, or
Okay.
outdoor, whatever it's called. Is it event permit?
Deborah
Event
Leckie
permit
said.
notification. And then in your motion, just say, you know, from raising it to $100, adding $100, whatever the final number is, and then let us rewrite this resolution, because the way it's currently written has nothing to do with what you're saying.
You got that, Deborah?
Amending the resolution to reflect the addition of the $100 fee for the notification
$100
fee.
increase in notification fees.
The $100 notification
Good.
of
Thank you.
notification fees. You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Keith.
Yeah, just for clarity, it's going from 75 to 100.
It's going from 0 to 100. Yeah. There is no fee today.
There is no fee, no current fee.
This is for the party permits, right?
What's the notification fee?
It's a notification.
No, I know, but the party permit,
Well, let me clarify, is that correct? There is no fee today?
There is no fee today. The ordinance provided for a fee, but we didn't have a mechanism because it wasn't in the fee schedule. So this is amending the fee schedule to reflect that. Council motion on the ordinance.
Okay. So we have a motion, confirm the second on that,
Yep,
David?
confirm.
Okay. All right. Any other further discussion from the council on this? Seeing none, any public discussion on this item? Seeing none? Seeing none. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Kaczynski,
Yes.
Councilmember Albritton.
Yes?
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
yes,
Mayor Bright Cruz.
Yes.
Motion passed.
I got to ask a question, I'm sorry. If you go to that page, I don't even know the page, it says, I guess it's page 72 of 115 of the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
It says residential outdoor event / wayside stand. Obviously, you're not going to have the additional $100 on wayside stand, right? The $100 only, the extra $100 to make it $175 is only, it's not, it doesn't look
It's
like
only-
here
yeah.
that it's 0 today. It looks like it's 75 today, and that you're increasing it by
So-
$100 to pay for the notice.
That's correct.
Okay, so that being said, that $100 only applies to the residential outdoor event. It doesn't apply to the wayside stand,
That's
correct?
correct.
So the way that it's written in here is not correct, and we have to amend that as well,
Okay, good.
okay? But I also wanted to clarify, it isn't 0 today, it is actually 75 today, and you're
Right.
increasing it.
Well, the
by
notification portion
notifications.
of it, we don't do today, and so we don't charge
That's
for that. Now we're doing that, and we're charging
on the
$100
same
to
page.
do the notify.
Yes. Okay, so Deborah, if you could please make the minutes
I had it right.
reflect that.
Will do.
I knew there was.
Would you like me to read it out
$75
really quick?
somewhere.
It's, yeah. All right. Are we clear on that? I think we're good.
So the total cost, just to be clear about, it's going to be 100 for future use if this passes. It's going to be $175
Correct.
per party
Correct.
permit.
Correct. $75 for the permit to actually
And
get the
$100
permit,
for
and
notification.
$100 to do the notification to the neighbors. Okay. All right, item number 13, please.
We got to vote.
Vote? Got to vote?
Do we vote?
We're going to
Vote.
vote too? Oh, my God.
Just to make it official.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Hartman,
Yes.
Councilmember Kaczynski,
Oh, we
Yes.
did.
Councilmember Albritton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski,
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz.
Yes. Didn't we already, I think we already
We did.
voted on it.
We did, I was just humoring.
I have to watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this again. I know we did. We did vote on it. We voted twice.
Item
All right,
13.
Just to make our point, did it twice.
Item 13, please.
Item 13 is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, entering into an agreement with the Broward County Supervisor of Elections for municipal election services, authorizing the mayor, town attorney to enter into an agreement and providing for an effective date.
Motion approved.
Second, begrudgingly.
Yeah, so this is a different fee schedule for the supervisor of elections. In some ways, it benefits us. In some ways, it can get more costly. If we just have a nice, clean election with nothing, no special charter items on there, it's actually much cheaper. It's basically free. But if we do a special election or if we put charter items on the ballot to be decided, it becomes more expensive. So there you go.
I'm just wondering how free to free is a benefit. It doesn't cost us today if we participate in an election at all.
I
It's
think
free.
I think it
Am I
does
wrong,
cost
Russell?
us. I think it does cost us a minimal amount.
Right now, or I should say in the most recent election, we did have to pay for election fees through the supervisor of elections. No, it isn't free.
We
It
have a
would be
cost
free.
share.
It would be free with this new pricing model, so long as we didn't have any charter questions or ballot questions.
I guess there's a benefit.
Works.
Trivial.
All right. So we have a motion and a second on this item. Any further discussion on this item? Any public discussion on this item? No, I was getting lonely up here. You hadn't.
Newell Hollingsworth, 199 Avenue. Taking from our puddles of money, how much is this going to cost us to add something like a charter amendment to it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Russell, I think you have those numbers.
Yes, Mayor. So under the new pricing proposal, they will charge us $279 per registered voter. We have over 5,800 registered voters. Actually, 5,797, so just under 5,800. And the estimated cost is $16,173 with one ballot question on there. If we were to add an additional question, it's, bless you, it's an additional 79 cents per registered voter for every ballot question thereafter the first.
So that's like another $4,000 or $5,000
Per question.
per
Per
question.
question, correct.
So that's where it starts adding up.
So Emil, we're talking about doing reviews of our charter. We changed it for 5 years, right? From 10 years originally.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we're gonna have to take into consideration because.
You went to 10.
Sorry?
It was 5, you went to 10.
No, we were never at 10. It was always, I mean, at 5, it was always 10. I was the chair twice.
Yeah.
They were 10 years apart.
Anyway,
Regardless, we typically have 3, 4, 5 questions on there. So we're talking about a significant increase in something that's relatively trivial today. So you'll know because when we make our charter amendments, we go through a whole process. It takes about a year. We then go through, reviewing the question, the changes, et cetera. So you'll know, but I mean, this is a new line item in our budget.
Yes, absolutely. And that's going to be part of the discussions once we go through the budget process.
Thank you.
yeah.
You were-
I do think that we were fortunate in that we did do a lot of charter changes in the past. We don't have, I think most of the critical ones are taken care of. We're going to talk about one tonight, but a lot of the critical ones have been taken care of, so that was good.
Maybe we won't need one in 5 years.
Yeah. All right, so any further council discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kaczynski?
Yes.
Councilmember Albritton?
Yes?
Councilmember Hartman?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski?
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz?
Yes,
Motion passed.
very good. Item number 14, please.
Item 14 is a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Southwest Ranches, Florida, amending resolution number 2026-009 to correct the May meeting dates in the approved Town Council meeting schedule for calendar year 2026 and providing for an effective date.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on this item. This is just an adjustment from the first and third week to the second and fourth week in May.
Yes, sir.
Any public discussion on this item? There we go, making up for lost time.
Seriously?
The third week on a Thursday, right?
No. It was inaccurately placed on the first and the third Thursday. This
Oh.
is making the correction to the second and the fourth, which it should have been from the beginning.
Okay.
All right, seeing no other public discussion closed. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Albritton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hartman?
Yes.
Councilmember Kozinski?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jablonski?
Yes.
Mayor Bright Cruz?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Item number 15 is a discussion of potential ordinance for a charter amendment to the charter of the town. David, this was your proposal?
Yes, it
I'll
was.
Allow
yeah.
you to
Yeah,
go first.
basically, and I'm gonna bring in, is Emil around?
Yep.
Did you find it?
Yes.
Fabulous. All right. So, we've all been up here and we see that the salary for a council member is $1,000 per month, taking out for the Florida retirement system. And the mayor is $1,250 per month, taking out some for the retirement system. So I asked Emil if he could calculate.
There's nothing in there for
There's nothing in-
FRS. There's no retirement.
It's just
The only
Social
thing taken out
Security
are
is taken out of there.
taxes.
There's no FRS. You can
Okay.
make your own individual contribution if you
Okay.
like, but that's out of your money, not the town's money.
All right, thanks. All right, thank you for clarifying that. So Emil, if you could, as I asked you the question regarding council member compensation, based on 2000, when the charter set the rate at $1,000 per council member, what would be that salary based upon the cost of living adjustments for today?
Thank you, Councilmember. Just for reference, this information was actually extracted from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it's a CPI inflation calculator that bases of what the cost, what the salary was at one given time, and what it will be today. So a salary of 1,250. I used the incorporation of the town, June 2000. We could change that. It's not gonna change that much on the amount. But using that date and December 2025, the salary will be 2,350. I'm rounding the numbers. And if we go back and take that same approach for the 1,000 for the council members, that's the mayor's salary.
And that comes to what, I'm sorry?
That's going to come to $1,880 rounded.
So when I did that calculation, I was like, well, I think maybe we need to adjust our salaries here. And when I knew that how sometimes complicated the charter questions could be, I was figuring if we did it as take these salaries out of the charter and just make it a supermajority vote of the council. That was something that crossed my mind. That is something that I'm considering at this moment. But looking at those two amounts, there's a big difference. There's a big difference from back when the town was founded to where we are today. So that's why I broached the subject. And Mr. Mayor, you did have a differing suggestion. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll pass it on to you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me, though.
Sure, yeah, no, thank you. Hold on just one second. All right, we'll continue. All right, so here's my concern. David, when you brought this up, I thought it's an excellent point. It's an excellent point. It's something that, to be honest with you, full disclosure, over the years, I have been a strong proponent to not change the salaries at all, ever. But a correction to the numbers, I don't remember what the original salaries were for the council.
400.
But what was it?
400.
It was like, yeah, 400 and I think $600 for the mayor, I think might have been what it was. And then in 2006 was when it was adjusted to what it is today. So 2006, 2026, it's been 2 decades. Okay, it's been a full 20 years since any adjustments have been made. And I do believe it's time to make an adjustment. And so, so looking at your particular amendment, charter amendment, David, I agree with the spirit of it, but there's a number of things in there that I cannot support. And that's why I came up with an alternative proposal, because I want to accomplish your goal, but I want to be able to support it. I am not at all comfortable. I could never vote for the council giving themselves a salary increase. I simply could not vote for that. That's putting the fox in charge of the hen house, and that's just if that were the charter amendment. To be honest with you, I would be out there stomping the neighborhoods to kill the charter amendment. I just,
It's like crossing a bridge with a lot of landmines.
yeah. I cannot, so, and I'm not sure what your thought was on striking out the provision that allows the council to, one thing the council does in today's charter is it does have the ability to reduce our salaries. And as much as I think that at this point in time is totally inappropriate, come mid-November, we may decide that we need to reduce the salaries depending on what type of local tax, item is passed by here, frankly. And so striking that out, while I definitely see the logic of it, David, I don't think this is the right time, right before we may have to exercise that clause for the first time ever. I'm not comfortable with striking that out. So I did come up with an alternative that I can support, and I'm bringing it up now just so I get it exactly right. So what my proposal is right now, I did my own calculation on what the cost of living would be for if we had cost of living increases from the $1,000 to each year to where we are today over the last 20 years. And I've rounded out those numbers, so they're not exact, but these are pretty close numbers to what my calculation came out to. And I want to be clear that I am not tied into these numbers, okay? If we have a discussion here tonight and we want to adjust those numbers, I'm open to that discussion. I'm not saying these are the exact right numbers. But the structure of how we do this, I am pretty tied into. So my proposal is that the council members, their rate of pay would go from $1,000 a month up to $1,500 a month. The mayor would go from $1,250 to $2,000. And what this would do so that we would not fall behind is it would put a cost of living increase into place so that each year it would go up by whatever the national, it has the
CPI.
Yeah, basically the national CPI is. It's all in there. Up to a maximum of 3%. It would never go over 3%. But so if it was the CPI was 4%, it would go up 3%. If the CPI goes up 2.5%, the salary goes up 2.5%. And so that's what my proposal it is, and it does allow for the council to vote to decrease it. It does not change that. That's in there today. It does not change that. And so that way, in my mind, I'll just summarize it this way. Every place I've ever worked, my boss determines how much my raise is. And right now, as sitting on this council, the boss are the residents of this town. And so I think it should be in their hands through a charter amendment that they determine what our increase is. And by doing this, they do determine what our increase is.
So I'm not clear then. You're suggesting using the CPI with a cap of 3%?
That's correct.
So we'd have to change that in our charter. And then going forward, we would administer any changes that would be 3% or less. Am I understanding that properly?
No.
Okay.
So this is a charter amendment. So this whole thing is charter amendment, and basically it does two things. It institutes a new salary of 1,500 and 2,000.
Okay.
Council member, mayor,
Right.
and it institutes a annual increase of the CPI maxed out at 3%.
Okay, I think I missed the first part and what I played back to you, but I got
Okay.
the second part right.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mayor, if I
Yeah.
may, I could definitely support that. I think I agree with you, the council deciding like on a 5-0 supermajority is not the way to fly.
Right.
Nothing wrong with this council here. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of a council 20 years from now.
100%.
They could just sink the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or if, God forbid, term limits come in, you got an out-of-control council on that, who really don't care what happens next, that sort of thing. I think it's really up to the voters. We have a 60% threshold that this would have to pass, and let the voters decide.
Right.
And that's my feelings on that, as opposed to letting the council self-police, which is asking for a lot of problems.
It really is. I think so. Great. Thank you, Gary. Any other thoughts, comments?
Yeah, Mayor, I agree that the council shouldn't be voting on their own raise. It's just not appropriate, that's all. The cost of living increase, I think that's an excellent idea. I know that, we give increases here at Town Hall based on the cost of living. Social Security does the same thing. So the cost of living increase maxed at 3% is absolutely fine. If it went to 5%, that's fine, but still, the 3% per year is a nice increase. We're not here, like you said, to make money, but you
Right.
do have to pay for expenses and travel and so forth. So, I do support this a lot. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jim. David, what's your thoughts?
It's all right.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and I do want to just note, Keith, appreciate your input into the thoughts on this as well.
No worries. We'll bring this back at the next meeting for an ordinance for public debate and the like. It's going to require 2 readings for adoption. Before CM Jablonski jumps in quickly.
Is this on a different item?
Yes.
Let me just close up
sorry.
one more thing. So I do want to, this is a discussion normally just with the council. I do want to open this up to the public if they would like to make a comment on this.
I apologize because it's coming back.
Yeah, I know. We don't normally do it, but this is kind of a sensitive.
No, Hollingsworth, 199th Avenue. I've seen this discussion in another municipality, and it can go completely off the rails type situation. Whatever you choose, I think it needs to go into the, before the voters for that. 3% I think is high, but that's to be discussed. But I think that any raise that you give yourself automatically like that, where you say, we're going to 3%, has to go in after the next election, not immediately. In other words, you vote, and next month you get a different check. That is not the way it should be. It should be after the next election, always. And I've seen where in another municipality where they tried to vote it in where it would go immediately into effect, and the people came out with torches and pitchforks to that commission. So one of the things to take a look at.
Right. That's actually a great point. It was something that I've given some thought to and neglected to mention here. So my thought is, and Emil, I look for your feedback and input on this. So this is a charter amendment, so it's going to happen at the election time. So my thought is that if this were to pass, well, let me back up a little bit. Well, I'll say it, and then you'll understand why I'm kind of back and forth. So if this were to pass, then I would see these new salaries kicking in 2027.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, my question is this. For future years, like in 2028, okay, when would we implement that cost of living? My thought is that it would maybe kick in February to give you January to get the actual numbers for the prior year, do your calculations, and have time to put it into payroll so that it actually kicks in. But what's your thoughts?
Well, in this case, we will handle it the same way we do ourselves, our personnel. We do the budget planning on the October 1st date, and then off of that, we calculate what the change is at the time when we get our budget adopted, and then we budget according to that October 1st date.
So then the CPI would be calculated for the 12 months, October through September? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yes. The way to simplify, we have a way, just as I did for the CPI adjustment from 2000 to actually go back to a specific month, and then we base it off of that at that point in time. So if we, I'm gonna just do an example as we're doing now. We're going through the budget process for 27 now. We're going to budget an amount on CPI for staff and merit increases. And so in this specific case, we will use that same CPI rate that we have determined for our staffing. If it's 3%, if it's 2.5%, if it's 4%, whatever that amount is, and then we budget that to start on October 1st. On our specific case, it varies because our increases are not specifically attached to that October 1st day. Council can direct us to put on a specific day for council to be effective.
So I get the budget side. You got to put a number in there for budget. Budget is one thing, but so we're doing the budget in March, April, May, June. That's well before we know what the actual CPI is for the year. And so what I'm concerned, budgeting is one thing. We've got to set aside the dollars. Budgeting is one thing. The other thing is what the actual CPI is so that it's accurate and reflected in the actual payroll that comes out either starting in November 1st or January 1st or February 1st, whatever that timeline is. And I'm trying to understand that piece of it. Keith, you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I'm looking online, and the CPI date does fluctuate slightly, year to year. It actually came out apparently yesterday, March 11th, for the prior month, and it comes out, regularly.
Right.
So what I would say is, I would say I would change the language slightly to just state that based on the index, it would be the release date, the next payroll following that release date. So whenever that release date is, it affects the next payroll. So you all wouldn't ever have to worry about it, because when the release comes out, then it would take effect the next payroll date.
Right, but it's released on a monthly basis. So,
no, but I'm saying
my question is, what month are we using? That's the base question. Is what's the number that we're using for the actual?
I would suggest that you use October.
Yeah, I was going to just offer a suggestion, if I may. I'm looking at the release schedule for 2026, and it says that the latest one is September 11th, actually, of 2026. So based on that, we could say either everything from October 1st then incorporates that most recent CPI, or if council desires, you can say January 1st. We'll certainly have all of that data, in from September.
Right.
Then.
And I have no preference one to the other than to say that this first year, there's not going to be a CPI increase in it. This first year, it's going to be the numbers, the flat numbers.
How about we say as of September 30th of each fiscal year?
I'm good with that.
Because that resolves that issue.
Right.
And no CPI in the first year because it's a flat salary increase?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Okay. All right.
That's good.
All right, good. Thanks, Newell. It's a good clarification.
Anything else?
Yeah, Keith, what was your thoughts?
Yes, I had two things. One thing for Newell, the language concerning other future modifications of the salary, not CPI, still will never take effect until that other election. So if the money is increased one time and then continues as CPI, if anyone wants to increase the the monthly amount, it still wouldn't go effect until after the election.
Right.
You know, so that language isn't being removed from the charter. I just wanted to make that clear. Sorry for the brief disruption, Mayor. In the middle of the meeting, I got a call from our outside counsel. His name is Jeff Hockman, who was listening to Council Member Hartman's initial disclosure and said that we missed a word in the disclosure. And then apparently that word is very important to the plaintiff. And therefore, I will ask Councilmember Hartman to reread the statement super slowly, just read the whole thing super slowly to ensure that no words are missed. In the microphone.
Do I have to?
Yeah, please.
I want to take this opportunity to address my conduct during the Town Council meeting of May the 9th, 2024. During that meeting, I indicated that John Stephen Garotti was a convicted felon and violent criminal. Mr. Garotti was never convicted of a felony or a violent crime, and I made a mistake in indicating otherwise. For that, I extend a sincere apology to Mr. Garotti. I think I got it all right this time.
I think it sounded good to me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Bob. All right, Gary, you're up.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. Have a great evening.